good mood because the Bills are now in the AFC Championship game. Before we get into that, let's recap from last week's games. But before we get into that, the Sabres, though. Like I say, they lost. Yeah, they lost the game I was at Friday night. They lost the Penguins. They gave up a goalie goal. Started out 1-0 Sabres and then went south from there. They gave up 4 unanswered. Sabres got a late goal in the third period, 4-2, and then gave up a goalie goal by the Penguins goalie, Alex Nedeljkovic. That was kind of history making. You know, it's cool. It sucks against my team, but still cool. It's still the first goalie to get a goal and assist in the same game. So that's history making in the NHL for sure. Tough one, man. Tough one for the Sabres. But other than that, there was a lot of good memories. You know, the Sabres won last night, though. They beat the Canucks. So, yeah. So, at least Sabres are back on the winning track after last night's win, though. But let's recap the NFL games last week. First of all, Instigator Mick eliminated in the football poll by missing a lot of his picks. The only pick he got right was the Bills-Ravens game. So my pick of the week went wrong by taking the Lions. But yeah, the Texans, of course, lose thanks to the referees. Let's first of all. That's the reason why the Chiefs are in the AFC Championship game. It's because the refs handed the Chiefs another trip to the AFC Championship game. That was rough in the passer calls. That was some BS calls. Let's be honest there. Pretty much America is sick of the Chiefs. The Chiefs defense played good other than that, though, other than they have referee calls. But just they dominated C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud got destroyed in that one, allowing like at least 8 sacks. His own line pretty much did a terrible job. Tough way to end the season for the Texans. And still, they are the only team that hasn't gotten past the divisional round. But the biggest upset was the Commanders beating the Lions. No one saw that coming, including me. I mean, I did not see that coming at all. I'm really stunned in that one. I mean, Commanders, including a pick 6. I mean, their defense had a pick 6 on Jared Goff. So Goff had a really rough game. Like got picked off 3 or 4 times. He also fumbled too. So he had a really bad game. Despite scoring 31 points. Bills Eagles Super Bowl. I like that prediction. That could very well happen. I mean, those are two really good teams I could see being in there. But yeah, the Commanders really shocked me. 45 points. They just dismantled Detroit. Detroit really choked this one. This was their time. This was Detroit's time to finally. I mean, seriously, this is their year. They had the 1 seed. They had everything go their way, and then just choked. Had a bad game against the Commanders. They did this to themselves. I don't know if the Lions will get back to that point. Because today they lost both their coordinators. I mean, the last 24 hours, they lost both their offensive and defensive coordinators due to head coaching jobs. Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator for the Lions, gets hired by the Bears. So that's really insult to injury for the Lions. Having played against. Now he's part of the division rivals. Now he's new head coach of the Bears. So that's insane. And today, Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator, he gets hired by the Jets as the head coach now. So both. They got to find new coordinators now, the Lions got to do. And I agree with that. Daniels definitely is rookie of the year for sure. He's got to have the best rookie season in NFL history for sure. Getting his team all the way to the NFC Championship game. So what a good win for the Commanders, though. That's a good win. Lions are just, what do they do next? I don't know. Losing now, they got to find an offensive and a defensive coordinator. Now they both got head coaching jobs now. Sunday's games. We had a snow game in the Eagles Rams game and the Bills Ravens game as well. There's a little snow, but not as snowy as the Eagles one. Yeah, man. Now Aaron Glenn's got to try to figure out a way to get him out of this playoff drought. That's gonna be tough to do. But the Rams, came so close. They were down. I mean, they came so close. But Saquon Barkley had that long touchdown. We were pretty much put away. But the Rams had a chance to win, and they just failed in 4th down conversion. 29-23 is the final score, but it was a tough break for the Rams. I mean, get that long touchdown by Saquon. Really, it's hard to come back from that. The thing is, they were close to getting that touchdown. But props to the Eagles. They are in the NFC Championship game against the Commanders. And, of course, the Buffalo Bills winning a thriller over the Ravens. Huge win. I mean, finally getting past the divisional round. And, of course, they beat the Ravens again in the divisional round, just like they did in the 2020 season. And now they play the Chiefs. in the AFC Championship game. What a game for Josh Allen. No turnovers. Lamar had 2. And then, of course, the third turnover was Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews, he had a rough game. He dropped the 2-point conversion. They failed 2 2-point conversions. So that was a difference maker, too, other than the turnovers. That Bills defense stepped up when it needed to. So give props to them. Josh Allen for MVP after that game. I'll tell you that right now. But still, Lamar, despite the turnovers, he still had a chance to win, though. They had everyone. You play with Lamar as usual, finding a way to choke. Finding a way to lose. Oh. Tough. I mean, the Ravens had everything go their way. They had Derrick Henry they got in the offseason. They had everything they thought built in. And then just to lose just losing in the divisional round. Another heartbreaker for the Ravens. So their season's over. While the Bills are in the AFC Championship game. And it's the Chiefs. But let's talk about these championship games. Let's start off with, the Commanders and the Eagles. The NFC Championship game, that's at 3 o'clock on Fox. Ooh, keys to this game, I think, is defenses for sure, but also the offenses too. Like, Saquon Barkley's got to have a big game in order to get the Eagles to the Super Bowl in this one. Jane Daniels got to be still the Jane Daniels we've seen in the playoffs. And, of course, McLaurin's looked good, but De'Ami Brown's the one that really surprised me. Oh, who do I take in this one, Washington's playing their best football right far. Show the Eagles, but the Eagles lucked out last week. I'm going Commanders. I think it's going to be the Commanders that are going to win the NFC now. They are the better team right now going into this game. The Eagles got the talent, but just saying, the Commanders are playing more hard. So, I like them in this one. I would like to see the Commanders' Cinderella story continue to the Super Bowl. So I got the Commanders over the Eagles. I really think the Eagles are done. I said that last week and I was wrong, but this time they will, because the thing is, these both teams have split, so this is really going to be a good football game. It's going to be a close game, but I like Washington in this one. And now the big one, the Buffalo Bills taking on the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead Stadium at 6:30 for the AFC Championship game. This is it. Could this finally be the year the Bills finally beat the Chiefs in the playoffs? I answer, yes. I think so. Not saying I'm a Bills fan. I think the Chiefs have been getting so lucky for a long time. The entire nation, except Chiefs fans, are sick of it. I'm telling you, they're sick of the Chiefs making these runs. I mean, seriously. Even Marlon Humphrey, the former the Raven player, who just got eliminated by the Bills, he said, Bills are an NFC team. I'm sick of seeing the Chiefs win. He just doesn't want the Chiefs winning it again. So, I'm with Marlon Humphrey on this one. The whole nation wants one. So, I think it's going to be the Bills. It's going to be Bills Commanders Super Bowl, I think it's going to be. Pretty much the Super Bowl America wants. A lot of people wanted Bills Lions, but the Lions got eliminated this last week. I did see that. Why? Tyler Sports. Why? I think he just hates us. I think that's why he's rooting for the Chiefs. But yeah. So those are my picks this week. The Bills and the Commanders winning, I think. But congratulations. Of course, Instagram guys. It's national championship pick right this last week. I said Ohio State was going to win. They did. So congratulations to the Buckeyes. They are the national champs this season. After he really just a dominant win over Notre Dame. Notre Dame made it close late in the fourth quarter. They made it interesting, but just Ohio State getting a field goal to pretty much ice the game away. Winning by 11. It's 34-23. That final score was there. So that's the Buckeyes, man. They got who knows who can win? Who's going to win it next year? I don't know. Like, give me some early picks on that for the national championship next year. But Ryan Day proved a lot of critics wrong. He was on the hot seat. Everyone wanted him gone after that loss to Michigan. This Ohio State team just really turned it around. By blowing out Tennessee, they surprisingly dominated Oregon. They beat Texas. Their defense came up with some big plays, too. Like, they beat Texas as well. And beat Notre Dame, too. So, those are some good programs they beat to get to where they are. An 8 seed. I mean, they won the first 12-team playoff format of the college football playoffs. Of course, They did this a decade ago when in the first year they started the college football playoffs when they had just 4 teams. They did that, so they made history in both of them. Feels like the Buckeyes do well when it's the first, like a different version of the college football playoffs. Like. But congrats to them. I'm winning the national championship this year. But let's also give you some college basketball picks this week. Let's start with Friday night at 9 o'clock on ESPNU. The St. Bonaventure Bonnies versus VCU. Bonnies are having some injury issues. Chance Moore gets hurt. Then another player go down too. So they're having injury issues right now. They just lost to George Mason last night. VCU, meanwhile, they're starting to play better. But this is at VCU, so I'll still pick my Bonnies, but it's gonna be a lot tougher game because VCU is they're definitely frustrated because we beat them back on New Year's Eve. That's the thing is we're beat up right now, so I don't know if Bonnies will win this one. I'm still think Bonnies will find a way to win, but they don't. I don't know what to say. They're just having a rough time right now. Of course, Saturday at 12:30, there's a couple of games I'll keep my eye on. Big East basketball, Georgetown and Providence. Should be an interesting matchup there. You gotta love Big East basketball. It's always close. But I'm going to go with Georgetown. They've been the better team this year. Providence is up and down. Providence is the favorite kind of, but I like the Georgetown Hoyas. I like them in this one. Here's another one on 12:30. This will be on ESPN2. It is Syracuse and Pitt. Old rivals. They used to be in the Big East, but now they're AC rivals. So this is a good old Northeast rivalry. But I got to go with Pitt in this one. Much as I can't stand but Pitt's the better team. Syracuse, meanwhile, they're just an up and down team. That's a mid team. I'm going to go with the road team. I'm going with Pitt. Winning in the Carry Dome. 2:30, this should be a good one here at SEC matchup. The surprising Vanderbilt Commodores. Their football team won a bowl game. It's crazy. Now their basketball team's doing well. And, of course, Vanderbilt just came off an upset over Tennessee over the weekend. So a top 10 win. So that's a huge one for them. Meanwhile, Kentucky's as solid as usual. Have a dominant year, but I'm gonna have to go with them Vanderbilt. I think this one's an upsetter. I think Kentucky's gonna lose to Vanderbilt. But Kentucky's proved me wrong before. But I'm saying I like Vanderbilt. They're really coming along. They're an under the radar kind of team in college basketball right now. They're really surprising me. I like the Commodores in this one. 4:30, my Duke Blue Devils will take on the Wake Forest Demon Deacons on the road. That'll be a tough one for sure. Wake Forest, tough place to play. Of course, Wake Forest beat Carolina last night. So Wake Forest has not lost a home game. And they beat Duke last year at home. So, I think Duke will win, but it's going to be a lot closer. It's not going to be a blowout. This will be a really good Wake Forest team. Very talented, very well coached. But I think Duke will find a way to win. Cooper Flagg is going to have a good game. First part of this rivalry, Duke-Wake Forest rivalry. First taste of that. I like Duke winning on the road in Winston-Salem. I'll be on ESPN 4:30. 6:30. Let's see what you got for that one. That'll be a great matchup here. Kansas and Houston. Those two teams have played each other before, couple of college basketball heavyweights going in Lawrence. Tough one. Calvin Sampson's a great coach. These are two great, well-coached teams. Veteran coaches. Calvin Sampson for Houston, and you got, of course, Bill Self for Kansas. Hunter Dickinson's been a stud. And they got some studs over there at Kansas. I got to go with the Jayhawks. Get a home court advantage, and they got the experience level. Houston's good, too. I can't count on Houston, but if this was in Houston, Texas, I would, too. This is at Fog Allen. This is in Lawrence Fieldhouse. Oh, I like the Jayhawks in that one. And to finish off the night, college game day will be at Auburn. It's for Tennessee and Auburn. Auburn's the new number 1 ranked team in college basketball right now. Tennessee's top 10 team, so really good matchup. Two really good coaches, legendary coaches. Bruce Pearl and, Rick Barnes. Tennessee's such a great team, but they ran into a funk. They lose to Vanderbilt, like we were talking about. Meanwhile, Auburn's just good. Their only loss was the Duke. So Duke and Duke's number 2 and Auburn. So these are two of the best teams. But Auburn and Tennessee, this is a really good SEC matchup. College game, this should be a good one. This should be a really Sonic Blockbuster game here on ESPN. As much as I want to pick Tennessee, but I think Auburn wins this one. Auburn's got home court advantage, and they should win. They always play good games, but I like the Auburn Tigers. They are such a really good basketball team. They're on the rise. Possibly being a national championship contender, maybe. But the thing is, they got teams like the Duke Blue Devils and the Kansas Jayhawks and so on and so on. Like Tennessee, like all these SEC teams. But yeah, I like Auburn this one. And that'll do it here for Instagram Mick this week. We'll see you all next week. You know, hopefully a celebratory show next week. Hopefully the Bills will win the AFC Championship game. Hopefully beat the Chiefs. That's all I can say is go Bills, beat the Chiefs. Fuck the Swifties. You know, the bandwagon fans that just, you know, started watching football because of Taylor Swift. Seriously. Taylor Swift's is gonna break up with Travis Kelce. I'm telling you that. Spoiler alert. When the Bills win, that Travis Kelce Taylor Swift relationship is over. I'm telling you. She's gonna make a breakup song for Travis Kelce, and she's moving on to the next guy. So I think the Bills will win it and ruin a relationship, and just ruin a lot of Swifties. We don't want Taylor Swift back in the Super Bowl. I'll tell you that. Patrick Mahomes, we don't want you there either. So go Bills. Fuck the Chiefs.